Have you been waking up with unexplained headaches that just won't quit? Do your fingers sometimes go numb for no reason? Or maybe you've noticed yourself forgetting words mid-sentence more often than you'd like to admit. I need you to stop what you're doing right now and listen to me very carefully, because what I'm about to tell you could literally save your life. There are 5 common vegetables that millions of seniors eat every single week, thinking they're making healthy choices. But these vegetables are secretly thickening your blood, forming micro-clots in your arteries, and setting you up for a stroke. And here's what really gets my blood boiling as a surgeon, who's seen way too many stroke victims on my operating table. The medical establishment has been pushing some of these vegetables as superfoods for decades. Your doctor probably told you to eat more of them. The American Heart Association has them on their recommended foods list, but I've watched patient after patient come into my ER with stroke symptoms. And when I dig into their diet, I find the same pattern over and over again. They've been eating these 5 vegetables regularly, at the wrong times, in the wrong amounts, without understanding the hidden dangers. My patient Margaret, 71 and very health conscious, had a mini stroke, TIA, while eating her healthy dinner salad. The ER doctors gave her the standard advice to eat more vegetables, but never asked which ones or when. When she came to me, I discovered one specific vegetable she ate every single night. Believing it protected her heart, was actually setting her up for a massive stroke. I told her to stop eating it immediately. She was skeptical. But my doctor said vegetables are always healthy. I warned her that if she continued, her next stroke might not be a mini one. Margaret trusted me and made the change. 1 month later, her clotting factors dropped by 38%, and her inflammation by 44%. That was over 2 years ago, and she remains stroke-free. Her story is proof that after 60, your body changes. Your kidneys, blood vessels, and enzymes are different. Foods you used to handle can become dangerous, and when you eat them, matters just as much as what you eat. All right, let's start this countdown with vegetable number 5. And I'm warning you right now, this one's going to surprise you because everybody thinks it's one of the healthiest foods on the planet. Vegetable number 5 is broccoli. Now, before you think I've completely lost my mind, hear me out, because this is way more complicated than you think. Broccoli is loaded with fiber, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals that absolutely can support your heart and brain health. Nobody's arguing with that. But here's what your doctor probably never told you about broccoli, and this is where things get dangerous. Broccoli contains extremely high levels of vitamin K. 1 cup of cooked broccoli gives you about 220 micrograms of vitamin K, which is nearly twice your daily recommended amount. Now, vitamin K is essential for bone health and normal blood clotting. That's fine when you're younger and your body can regulate everything properly. But here's the problem for seniors. Millions of you are on blood-thinning medications like warfarin, Coumadin, Plavix, or even just a daily aspirin to prevent clots and strokes. These medications work by blocking vitamin K in your system. So, when you eat a big serving of broccoli, especially multiple times per week, you're literally fighting against your medication. You're undoing the very thing that's supposed to protect you from dangerous clots. A massive study from the University of Minnesota followed over 3,000 seniors on blood thinners for 4 years. They found that those who ate high vitamin K vegetables like broccoli more than twice weekly had 2.6 times more breakthrough clotting events. That means their blood thinners stopped working effectively, and they ended up with clots anyway, despite being on medication. But here's what makes this even more dangerous, and this is something I see all the time in my practice. The real problem isn't just eating broccoli, it's eating it inconsistently. You go a week eating broccoli 3 or 4 times because you're trying to be healthy. Then the next week you don't eat any at all. This inconsistency throws your medication levels completely out of whack. Your doctor adjusts your blood thinner dose based on stable vitamin K intake, but when you're all over the place with how much broccoli you eat, your blood becomes unpredictable. Some days it's too thick and prone to clotting. Other days it's too thin and at risk for bleeding. It's like a dangerous seesaw that nobody's controlling. So here's the solution for broccoli, because I don't want you to give it up completely if you enjoy it. First, if you're on any blood-thinning medication, talk to your doctor about your vitamin K intake. Show them this video if you need to. Second, keep your broccoli consumption consistent. If you're going to eat it, eat roughly the same amount each week so your medication can be properly adjusted. Don't go from 0 to hero and back to 0. Third, never eat large amounts of broccoli at dinner or before bed. The vitamin K peaks in your bloodstream about 6 to 8 hours after you eat it. If you eat broccoli at night, that peak happens while you're sleeping, when your blood flow naturally slows down, and you're at highest risk for clots. If you must have broccoli, eat it at lunch when you're up and moving around. Movement helps prevent clots even if your blood temporarily thickens. And finally, watch your portion sizes. A half cup of cooked broccoli as a side dish is manageable. A huge bowl of broccoli soup or 2 cups of broccoli as your main vegetable. That's asking for trouble. Broccoli can still be part of a healthy diet after 60, but it requires awareness, consistency, and proper timing. Don't let this green vegetable turn into a hidden enemy. Now, let's move to vegetable number 4. And this one's tricky because most people eat it thinking they're being healthy and light. Vegetable number 4 is romaine lettuce. Yeah, I know, you're probably thinking, what? Lettuce? That's just water and fiber. And you're partly right. But romaine lettuce has a hidden property that can seriously mess with your circulation overnight, especially if you're eating it at dinner like so many seniors do. Here's what's happening. Romaine lettuce acts as a natural diuretic, meaning it encourages your body to release water. In younger adults with properly functioning kidneys and strong circulation, this is no big deal. Your body just regulates itself. But after 60, everything changes. Your kidneys filter more slowly. Your blood vessels have lost elasticity. And here's the real kicker. Your thirst signals weaken dramatically. You might not feel thirsty even when you're getting dehydrated. So, you eat a nice big romaine salad at dinner thinking you're being healthy. Over the next few hours, your body releases water. You go to bed without drinking enough to compensate because you don't feel thirsty. And while you sleep, your blood gradually becomes thicker and more sluggish. Think about it like this. Thick blood trying to flow through stiff aging arteries is like trying to push honey through a narrow straw. It just doesn't move efficiently, and when blood slows down, it's much easier for small clots to form, especially in the tiny vessels that feed your brain. But wait, it gets worse. If you're taking blood pressure medications or diuretics, which millions of seniors are, eating romaine at night amplifies that dehydration effect. You're getting a double whammy. The lettuce is pulling water out. Your medication is pulling water out. And your body isn't telling you to drink more because your thirst mechanism is broken. A 2023 study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition looked specifically at seniors who ate diuretic vegetables at dinner versus those who ate them at lunch. The dinner group showed blood viscosity that was 28% higher by morning. Their blood was literally thicker when they woke up, creating perfect conditions for morning strokes, which, by the way, are the most common type, because your blood is naturally thicker and slower after lying down all night. Let me tell you about my patient Robert, because his story really drives this home. Robert was 74, and he prided himself on eating healthy. Every single night for dinner, he had a huge romaine salad with grilled chicken. Light, healthy, low calorie, exactly what he thought he should be eating. But Robert started waking up dizzy almost every morning. Sometimes his vision would be blurry for the first hour after getting up. His regular doctor checked his blood pressure, ran some routine tests. Everything looked okay, so they told him it was just normal aging. But when Robert came to see me and I heard about his nightly salads, I immediately knew what was happening. His blood was getting dehydrated and thick overnight. I told him to move his salad to lunch and drink a full glass of water with dinner instead. Within 1 week, his morning dizziness completely disappeared. 1 week. Here's how to handle romaine lettuce safely. Never eat it at dinner or within 3 hours of bedtime. Enjoy it at lunch or early afternoon, when you're still active and hydrating throughout the day. Always drink at least 8 ounces of water with your romaine salad, even if you don't feel thirsty. Your body needs it whether you feel it or not. And if you're on diuretics or blood pressure meds, consider switching to vegetables with higher water content like cucumbers or celery for your evening meals. These won't pull water out of your system the same way romaine does. Look, romaine lettuce is still a perfectly healthy vegetable. It's got fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. But after 60, timing is everything. Eaten at lunch with proper hydration, it's great for you. Eaten at dinner, it quietly sets you up for circulation problems overnight. All right, we're halfway through this countdown, And now we're getting into the vegetables that really shock people. Vegetable number 3 is raw carrots. I can already hear some of you saying, "Come on, Brian, carrots." Really? Those are like the safest snack in the world. And I get it. Carrots seem so innocent. They're crunchy, low in calories, full of beta-carotene for your eyes. But here's what nobody tells you about raw carrots and stroke risk. Raw carrots digest extremely quickly, releasing natural sugars into your bloodstream fast. In younger people, your pancreas and metabolism handle that sugar surge just fine. But after 60, especially if you have any degree of prediabetes, diabetes, or metabolic syndrome, that rapid sugar spike creates a dangerous cascade of events in your body. Here's what happens. You eat raw carrots, let's say as an evening snack while watching TV. Your blood sugar spikes. Then, a few hours later while you're sleeping, it crashes. This crash triggers your body to release stress hormones, cortisol, and adrenaline to bring your blood sugar back up. These stress hormones tighten your blood vessels and raise your blood pressure at the exact time when your body should be relaxed and your blood pressure should be low. Now combine that with mild dehydration that happens naturally during sleep, and you've created the perfect storm for your blood to become thick and sticky. A study from the Journal of Geriatric Cardiology tracked 1,800 seniors for 3 years. Those who regularly ate raw vegetables, particularly carrots, within 3 hours of bedtime, had 41% more nocturnal cardiovascular events, meaning heart and circulation problems that happen during sleep or early morning. The researchers specifically noted that the rapid glucose fluctuations from raw vegetables were creating inflammatory responses and vascular stress in aging blood vessels. I treated a woman named Dorothy, who was 76 years old, and she loved her raw carrots. Every single night after dinner, she'd sit down with a bowl of carrot sticks while she watched her programs. She thought she was being so healthy by choosing vegetables over chips or cookies. But Dorothy started experiencing what she called morning confusion. She'd wake up and couldn't remember what day it was, or she'd get up to go to the bathroom and feel dizzy and disoriented. Her family was worried about dementia. But when I looked at her diet and saw those nightly raw carrots, I suspected what was really happening. Her blood sugar was roller coastering all night long, and her brain wasn't getting stable glucose or oxygen. I had her stop the evening carrots completely. Instead, I told her to eat them at lunch, and if she wanted a snack at night, to have a few nuts or a piece of cheese with some cooked vegetables. Within 2 weeks, her morning confusion episodes stopped completely. Her brain fog cleared up. She told me it was like somebody turned the lights back on in her head. Here's how to enjoy carrots safely after 60. Never eat raw carrots alone, especially not at night. The sugar hits too fast without anything to slow it down. If you love carrots as a snack, eat them during the day, preferably at lunch, and always pair them with protein or healthy fat. Hummus, nut butter, a piece of cheese, yogurt, these slow down the sugar absorption and keep your blood sugar stable. Better yet, cook your carrots. Roasted carrots, steamed carrots, carrots in soup. These all digest more slowly and don't cause the same rapid blood sugar spike that raw carrots do. And if you're going to have any raw vegetables as an evening snack, choose options that don't spike blood sugar, like celery, cucumbers, or bell peppers. These have more water and fiber and less sugar. Carrots are still incredibly nutritious. The beta-carotene is great for your eyes and immune system, but timing and preparation matter enormously after 60. Daytime carrots paired with protein are fine. Nighttime raw carrots eaten alone are a setup for blood sugar chaos and circulation problems. We're down to the final 2 vegetables now, and these are the ones that really shocked me when I started connecting the dots between my patients' diets and their stroke symptoms. Vegetable number 2 is tomatoes. Now, I know this one's going to be controversial because tomatoes are in everything. Salads, sauces, soups, you name it. And they're packed with lycopene, an antioxidant that's supposed to protect your heart. So, what's the problem? Here's the deal. Tomatoes belong to the nightshade family of vegetables, along with peppers, eggplants, and potatoes. Nightshades contain compounds called glycoalkaloids, specifically solanine and tomatine in tomatoes. In most people, these compounds pass through harmlessly. But after 60, your body's ability to process and eliminate these alkaloids decreases significantly. They start accumulating in your system, and they have a very specific effect on your blood vessels. they cause unpredictable constriction and dilation. Your blood vessels tighten, then relax, then tighten again, creating unstable blood pressure and blood flow. For seniors with already stiff arteries and compromised circulation, this instability can trigger symptoms that mimic stroke, dizziness, numbness, tingling, headaches, and confusion. But there's more. Tomatoes are also extremely high in histamine and tyramine, especially when they're cooked down into sauces or when they're very ripe. These compounds trigger inflammatory responses in your body and can interfere with how your nerves send signals. A study from the European Journal of Neurology looked at seniors who consumed high amounts of nightshade vegetables. They found that those eating them more than 4 times per week had significantly higher rates of what they called stroke-mimicking symptoms, episodes of dizziness, facial numbness, or arm weakness that seemed like strokes but weren't. The researchers concluded that the glycoalkaloids were creating temporary but serious disruptions in blood vessel function and nerve signaling. And here's what really gets me. The acidity in tomatoes also messes with your electrolyte balance, particularly calcium and magnesium. These minerals are critical for stable nerve and muscle function, including the smooth muscles in your blood vessel walls. When you eat large amounts of tomatoes, especially concentrated sources like tomato sauce or paste, you're depleting these minerals and creating an environment where your circulation becomes erratic. I had a patient named James who was 79 years old, and he absolutely loved spaghetti with marinara sauce. He ate it at least 3 or 4 times a week. James started having episodes where his left arm would go numb for a few minutes. Then the feeling would come back. This happened maybe once or twice a week. His doctors did all the stroke tests, MRIs, everything. They couldn't find anything definitively wrong, but they knew something was up. When James told me about his spaghetti habit, I suggested he take a break from tomatoes completely for 1 month. Just 1 month, no tomato sauce, no fresh tomatoes, nothing. After 3 weeks, his numbness episodes stopped. After 4 weeks, he felt more mentally clear than he had in years. We slowly reintroduced tomatoes in small amounts at lunch, never at dinner, and he's been fine ever since. Here's the safe way to eat tomatoes after 60. Cook them gently. Light cooking actually increases the availability of lycopene while reducing some of the solanine content. Avoid heavy tomato-based meals, especially at dinner or before bed. A little tomato on a sandwich at lunch is fine. A huge bowl of marinara pasta at 7 p.m. is asking for trouble. Limit tomatoes to 2 or 3 times per week maximum, not every single day. And pair them with magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds, spinach, or almonds to balance out the electrolyte effects. If you notice any weird symptoms after eating tomatoes, dizziness, tingling, numbness, headaches, that's your body telling you to back off. Listen to it. Tomatoes can still be part of a healthy diet, but moderation and timing are crucial after 60. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The #1 vegetable that raises stroke risk overnight. The one that Margaret was eating every single night before her mini stroke. The one that shocks absolutely everyone when I tell them about it. Vegetable #1 is spinach. I know. You're thinking, Brian, you've officially gone off the deep end. Spinach is Popeye's food. It's a superfood. How can spinach be dangerous? Let me explain exactly why spinach is the most dangerous vegetable for stroke risk in seniors and why I'm more concerned about this one than all the others combined. Spinach contains outrageously high levels of 2 compounds, vitamin K and oxalates. Let's start with vitamin K. 1 cup of cooked spinach has over 880 micrograms of vitamin K. That's more than 7 times your daily recommended amount in a single serving. Remember what I told you about broccoli and vitamin K? Well, spinach makes broccoli look like amateur hour. If you're on blood thinners, eating spinach regularly is like playing Russian roulette with your medication. You're completely sabotaging the drugs that are supposed to prevent clots and strokes. But even if you're not on blood thinners, that massive amount of vitamin K is creating an environment in your blood where clots form more easily. Your blood becomes hypercoagulable, meaning it's primed and ready to clot at the slightest provocation. After 60, when your blood is already prone to clotting because of aging vessels and slower circulation, adding huge doses of vitamin K from spinach is like throwing gasoline on a fire. But wait, it gets worse. Spinach also contains enormous amounts of oxalates, over 750 milligrams per cup of cooked spinach. Oxalates are compounds that bind with calcium in your bloodstream and form calcium oxalate crystals. In younger people with efficient kidneys, these crystals get filtered out quickly. But after 60, your kidneys slow down significantly. These oxalate crystals start accumulating in your blood vessels, creating rough, jagged spots on the normally smooth inner walls of your arteries. Think of it like potholes forming on a highway. When your blood flows over these rough patches, your platelets get activated. They think there's an injury that needs to be repaired, so they start clumping together to form a clot. Except there's no injury, just these oxalate crystals irritating your vessel walls. Over time, especially if you're eating spinach regularly, these crystals build up more and more, creating more and more spots where dangerous clots can form. And because spinach is so often eaten at dinner or in evening smoothies, all of this clotting activity is happening while you sleep, when your blood flow is slowest and you're most vulnerable. A groundbreaking 2024 study from Boston Medical Center followed 2,400 seniors for 18 months. They specifically looked at those who consumed high oxalate vegetables like spinach more than 3 times per week versus those who ate them sporadically. The frequent spinach eaters had blood viscosity that was 31% higher. Their inflammatory markers associated with stroke risk were 2.7 times elevated. And here's the really scary part. When they did vascular imaging, they could actually see calcium oxalate deposits in the smaller arteries, particularly those feeding the brain. The researchers concluded that regular spinach consumption in seniors was creating measurable vascular damage and significantly increasing stroke risk. Here's what you need to do about spinach. If you're on any blood-thinning medication whatsoever, warfarin, Coumadin, Plavix, aspirin, Xarelto, Eliquis, any of them, you need to eliminate spinach from your diet completely. Talk to your doctor first, show them this video, but get spinach out of your system so your medication can work properly. If you're not on blood thinners but you're over 60, limit spinach to once every 2 weeks at most. And when you do eat it, have no more than half a cup and eat it at lunch, never at dinner. Better yet, replace spinach with safer leafy greens, romaine lettuce, arugula, butter lettuce, red leaf lettuce. These all give you vitamins and antioxidants without the dangerous vitamin K and oxalate levels. You can eat these daily without worry. And here's a critical warning. Be very careful about spinach in prepared foods. It's everywhere now. Frozen meals, soups, smoothie mixes, pasta dishes. Companies love putting spinach in everything because it sounds healthy. But you need to read every label and avoid products that contain spinach. Don't let it sneak back into your diet through packaged foods. Spinach is not a superfood for seniors. It's a super risk. The sooner you understand this and make changes, the better protected your brain will be. All right, let's bring this home because I know I've given you a lot of information and probably challenged some beliefs you've held for years. Here's the bottom line. These 5 vegetables, broccoli, romaine lettuce, raw carrots, tomatoes, and especially spinach, are not inherently evil. They contain valuable nutrients. But after 60, your body processes them differently. Your kidneys are slower, your blood vessels are stiffer, your clotting factors are more sensitive. And what worked fine at 40 or 50 can become dangerous at 70 or 80. The key is understanding how these vegetables affect your body specifically and making smart choices about when you eat them, how much you eat, and what you pair them with. It's not about fear, it's about knowledge and awareness. If you're on blood thinners, you absolutely must manage your vitamin K intake from vegetables like broccoli and spinach. Work with your doctor to keep it consistent, or eliminate the high K vegetables entirely. If you're prone to dehydration or on diuretics, avoid vegetables like romaine lettuce at dinner. Eat them at lunch when you're still actively hydrating. If you have blood sugar issues, stop eating raw carrots at night. Cook them or eat them during the day with protein. And if you're experiencing any weird symptoms, dizziness, numbness, tingling, brain fog, take a hard look at nightshade vegetables like tomatoes and see if cutting them back helps. Your health is in your hands. The food you eat today affects your brain tomorrow. And small changes, eating vegetables at different times of day, choosing different varieties, watching your portions, can make an enormous difference in your stroke risk. Now, here's what I need you to do. First, leave me a comment below and tell me which of these 5 vegetables shocked you the most. Have you been eating any of them regularly at night? Have you noticed symptoms that might be connected? I read every comment and I want to hear your story. Second, If this information opened your eyes and potentially saved your life or the life of someone you love, smash that like button and share this video with every senior you know. This is life or death information that needs to get out there. And third, make sure you're subscribed to Senior Health with Brian with notifications turned on, because tomorrow I'm revealing the one blood pressure medication that's actually increasing stroke risk by 67%, and over 4 million seniors are taking it right now without knowing the danger. You absolutely cannot miss that video. I'm Brian, and remember, aging doesn't mean declining. It means adapting. Learn how your body works now, not how it worked 20 years ago. And you can stay healthy, sharp, and independent for decades to come. I'll see you in the next video.